Picture this: for decades, if you bought a car, a machine, a factory robot, a precision tool, or the equipment that keeps modern life running, there's a good chance Germany was somewhere in that story. Not always with a flashy logo. Not always with a viral brand. But quietly, relentlessly, Germany became the world's reliability engine, the place that built things that didn't break, systems that didn't fail, and factories that could outproduce almost anyone. So here's the question that should bother every business owner, every worker, and honestly every country watching from the outside. If Germany's economic model was once one of the most admired on earth, why does it suddenly look like it's losing momentum? Because what's happening isn't a simple "Germany got worse" story. It's a story about a machine that was built to win one kind of world, then waking up in a different world where the rules changed overnight. And once you understand how the German system actually works, you'll see why it dominated for so long, and why it's now being tested in ways it was never designed for. Let's start by clearing up one thing. When people say Germany's economic model, they're not talking about one policy, one party, or one magic trick. It's a whole ecosystem, like a well-engineered engine where every part supports the next. At the center of it all is manufacturing. Not just making stuff, but making high-skill, high-value things, machines, chemicals, vehicles, industrial equipment, tools, and specialized components that other countries can't easily copy. Germany didn't try to be the cheapest. It tried to be the best. And the system that made that possible can be broken into a few pillars. First, you have the Mittelstand, Germany's famous mid-sized companies. These are not the loud tech giants that dominate headlines. They're often family-owned, obsessively specialized, and deeply rooted in their regions. Many of them are hidden champions, meaning they lead the world in a tiny niche most people don't even know exists. Second, you have skills, real skills, built through a pipeline that doesn't rely only on universities. Germany's apprenticeship system is one of the most important parts of the model. It produces workers who can actually build, maintain, and improve complex industrial systems. Third, you have stability through cooperation. Germany's approach is often described as a social market model, still capitalist, still competitive, but designed to reduce chaos. Businesses, workers, and government don't always agree, but there's a tradition of negotiation and long-term planning. In many large firms, workers even have formal representation in company decision-making. The idea is simple. If you want strong industry, you need social stability, and if you want social stability, you need strong industry. Fourth, you have an export engine. Germany is built to sell to the world. When global demand is strong and trade flows smoothly, Germany's model can look unstoppable. And fifth, this is crucial, you have the assumption of reliable, affordable inputs, energy that keeps factories running, infrastructure that moves goods, and predictable rules that allow businesses to plan years ahead. For a long time, this system produced something close to an economic miracle. After World War II, Germany rebuilt with a kind of disciplined ambition. It focused on productive capacity, engineering excellence, and export competitiveness. It built a reputation for quality that became a global brand all by itself. Made in Germany didn't just mean German. It meant trusted. And the engine kept getting stronger because the pieces fit together. The Mittelstand trained apprentices. Apprentices became skilled workers. Skilled workers made world-class products. World-class products sold globally. Export profits funded more investment. Investment improved productivity. Productivity supported higher wages. Higher wages supported stability. Stability supported long-term planning. Long-term planning reinforced the Mittelstand. It's an economic flywheel. Now let's zoom in on the part most outsiders miss, the Mittelstand. If you want to understand why Germany punched above its weight, you don't start with Berlin or a big multinational headline. You start with a town you've never heard of, where a company you've never heard of makes a component so precise and so reliable that the entire world quietly depends on it. These companies often don't chase hype. They chase mastery. Many are family-run across generations. They think in decades, not quarters. They invest in worker training because they want loyal expertise, not short-term labor. They keep production close to home because quality control is everything. And because they're specialized, they can dominate global niches without needing to be huge. That's one reason Germany's economy is filled with companies that are not famous, but are indispensable. Now connect that to the second pillar, the apprenticeship system. In a lot of countries, there's an unspoken message. If you're smart, you go to university. If you don't, you figure something else out. Germany doesn't operate like that. In the German model, skilled trades and technical professions aren't seen as a backup plan. They're respected pathways. Apprentices split time between learning in school and learning on the job. They earn while they learn. And the result is a workforce that can actually run an advanced manufacturing economy. This is why Germany can sustain industries that require precision and consistency. It's not just about machines. It's about people who know exactly how to use them. Then you have the third pillar, cooperation and stability. Germany is competitive, but it isn't built around constant internal warfare between labor and business the way some economies are. Negotiation is part of the culture. In many large companies, workers have structured representation. The goal is to avoid wild swings. Because wild swings break long-term industry. And this is where the model becomes a trade-off. Germany's system can feel slower and more regulated than places that move fast and break things. But the upside is stability, predictability, and a workforce that's deeply integrated into the success of industry. When global markets are stable, that approach is powerful. And for decades, global markets were stable enough. Germany's export machine benefited from globalization. Supply chains stretched across borders. Europe became more integrated. Demand grew in emerging markets. German manufacturers became the premium supplier for industrial growth around the world. For a long time, it felt like Germany found the perfect strategy: make the best industrial goods on earth, sell them everywhere, and reinvest the profits into the next generation of engineering. So why is it faltering? Because this model depends on a world where exports are safe, energy is affordable, competition stays behind you, and transitions happen gradually. That's not the world we're living in anymore. Pressure number one is energy. Industrial economies run on energy the way bodies run on oxygen. And when energy becomes more expensive or less predictable, it hits manufacturing directly. Suddenly, the cost structure that made you competitive starts working against you. And if your economy is built around energy-intensive industry, chemicals, metals, heavy manufacturing, higher energy costs don't just hurt. They reshape the entire playing field. Pressure number two is the China shift. Germany spent years building deep economic ties with China. For a while, it was a dream relationship. German companies sold premium products into a massive market. But over time, something changed. China didn't just buy the products. It learned. It scaled. And then it started competing, especially in sectors where Germany once felt untouchable. So Germany now faces a double challenge: demand from China isn't as reliable as it used to be, and competition from China is stronger than ever. That's a nightmare scenario for an export-driven model. Pressure number three is a new era of trade uncertainty. If your economy is designed to sell to the world, you need trade to flow smoothly. But today, trade is increasingly shaped by geopolitics, tariffs, strategic rivalries, and friendshoring. Companies hesitate. Investments slow. Export economies feel it first. Pressure number four is demographics. Germany, like many advanced countries, is aging. That means fewer workers entering the labor force while more workers retire. And if your economy relies on skilled labor, especially in trades and engineering, shortages don't just create inconvenience. They create bottlenecks. When you don't have enough trained people, expansion becomes harder, innovation slows, and costs rise. Pressure number 5 is bureaucracy and digital lag. Germany is famous for precision, but it can also be famous for paperwork. Permitting, construction approvals, administrative layers, these can slow down investment and expansion. And in an era where speed is a competitive advantage, slow systems become expensive systems. Now stack all 5 pressures together and you start to see the real issue. Germany's model is excellent at stability and industrial excellence, but today's world rewards rapid adaptation. And nowhere is that clash more visible than in the auto industry. For decades, German cars were not just products, they were symbols. Engineering, performance, and quality. But the global car industry is shifting from a mechanical race to a battery and software race. That doesn't mean German engineering is suddenly worthless. It means the battlefield moved. When the world cared most about engines and mechanical refinement, Germany was the king. But when the world starts caring more about battery supply chains, charging ecosystems, software updates, and cost-efficient mass production, new players gain advantage, and established players have to reinvent themselves under pressure. This is what it looks like when a dominant model meets a disruptive transition. So, is Germany's system breaking? Not necessarily. But it is being forced to evolve. Because here's the truth, the German model still has enormous strengths. The Mittelstand is still real. The skills pipeline is still valuable. The culture of quality still matters. The industrial base is still one of the most advanced on Earth. The question is whether Germany can keep those strengths while upgrading the parts of the system that now hold it back. That could mean faster permitting and less friction for investment. It could mean a more aggressive push for digital infrastructure and modernization. It could mean rethinking energy strategy to keep industry competitive. It could mean reforming how innovation gets funded so new companies can scale faster. It could mean adapting apprenticeships for new industries, not just traditional ones. And it definitely means one thing. Germany can't rely on yesterday's global environment to keep yesterday's model winning. Because a system designed for stability can become vulnerable in a world that changes fast. And that's the real story here. Germany didn't suddenly get worse. The machine didn't suddenly get stupid. The world around it changed. The competitive landscape shifted. The cost structure moved. The rules of trade got messier. The workforce got tighter. The transition accelerated. The model that once dominated the world was built for a certain kind of economy, and now it's fighting to remain dominant in a different kind of economy. So here's the question I want you to answer in the comments. If your country could copy only one part of Germany's system, what would it be? The Mittelstand culture, the apprenticeships, the stability, the worker protections, the export focus, which piece actually creates the most power? And if you want a follow-up, tell me this too. Should Germany double down on its old strengths, or should it reinvent itself for a new era? If you enjoyed this breakdown and you want more videos that explain how countries really work, beyond stereotypes, then like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because the next video can go even deeper. Germany versus America, and why one system feels freer, while the other can feel safer, depending on who you are.